What up, George? This is your boy Gary Lamb, and I decided to do a video around this because I think this is vital to discuss, right? And I wanted to chime in. I wanted everybody to be able to chime into this. So George is a commenter. He is George Cole is his name. He commented on a video that I did. It was a review, a reaction of New World Order, and it's from a female point of view, and it's pretty much my wife giving her point of view on a New World Order, which is a smoking video. The video is actually starting to shoot up. It really is shooting up. I'm like, dang, it's already got 1,400 views already. Cool. That's kind of cool. People are liking this video. They're liking this content. So I'm happy about that. If you haven't seen that video, you are going to want to see it after this video. I'm putting a link in the description, and I'm going to put it in the side here for your convenience so you can click on it and you can go watch that video and understand. You'll be brought up to speed on what we're talking about. But there's a part in the video where my wife and I are talking about our vacation or our trip to Florida, and how we was introduced with the Angry Viking crew and how we perceived them when we got there. Now, I was saying racist. I was saying I was racist towards them. And she corrected me. She said, no, I wouldn't call it racist. I would say prejudice. It was definitely prejudice. You prejudged them. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I did prejudge them based off the way they look. You know what I'm saying? Here we go with this hot, smoking hot woman coming here with these Daisy Dukes on, with these big, beautiful things sitting here, and they're just served up on a platter for you, and jet black hair, and she got the boots coming up to her daggone calves. And then we got the other dude. He gets out of this big, double crew cab truck with all kinds of junk in the back seat. Like, you didn't know he was coming to pick people up, but I guess they blindsided you. Say, can you go and grab them from the airport? They're here. And you're like, oh, okay. And you jump in the car, and you're like, I'm sorry, I didn't even clean up the daggone car. And it was nuts. It was straight out of a movie scene. And I'm like, looking at my wife, she looked at me, I'm like, what are we doing? So we was a little nervous. So when she corrected me, I said, you know what? You're right. It wasn't racist. It was prejudice. We perceived them to be something that they were not. And once we got to know them and understand, like, oh, they just people like everybody else. They talk different. They come from a different side of the track, but they're just people. And then we warmed up to them, and we got calm and relaxed, and then we got that hospitality we've never gotten before. That's when I met Southpaw and all this other stuff, and I met DeAndre for the first time. You know what I'm saying? All this other stuff. It was a wonderful experience. So I don't want to call it racist, but I see where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, because there's a lot of stuff in me that I realize is coming out. White Boys is another daggone video that I'm gonna probably. I'm gonna try to drop it this week, but it's a lot of stuff that I'm doing this week. I'm gonna try to drop it. It's already recorded. I just got to edit it thing and put it out there. But there's so many things that I got to do that might come in before that. But even watching that video, I noticed things coming out of me. Just watching that video, and I explained myself in that video why it bothered me, why I was feeling a certain type of way, and I start realizing that some of it had to do with him being white, but most of it had to do with his persona that he was giving me. The persona he was giving off is the persona that I was rejecting. Not so much that he's white, it's because that persona I know very well, and I hate people like that. I can't stand them. Those are the type of people that jump me. Those are the people that chased me when I was a kid. So that kind of stuff, and all that's going to be in Boys. You're going to see that one. Don't worry. I'm not going to spill it. I'm not going to spoil the whole video for you. But that stuff came out, and having this conversation now for me is very therapeutic, because a lot of stuff is coming out. But to call it racist, no, I can't call it racist. I disagree. I am not racist. I may be prejudiced, but I'm not racist. I am cautious. And the reason why is because I've had bad run ins with whites and blacks. I used to work at David's Bridal. Okay. And I think I was there. So I think I was 16. It was it was my very first job. And I was a runner. And my job was to take the dresses and put them back in circulation, because the girls will have they'll have a bride and they'll have several dresses that they're showing, and the racks will get filled up. So my job was to run it back to the racks so we can put it back in circulation. The top salesperson there was a white, I think, Jewish person. I'm not sure her nationality, and I don't think it's even relevant, but it is what it is. She was the top salesperson. And being a top salesperson meant that I would do more work for her than any other bridal consultant there, because she's usually the one that's usually have the most brides. They'll go throw her a bride before they throw anyone else a bride, because she was really really good at what she does or do at the time. I don't know if she still do it, but I will frequently be in the same aisle as her while I'm putting the dresses back, because she has two, three brides, right? And she's working with two, three brides, and I'm sitting here trying to get the dresses back on a Saturday, which is freaking hectic as hell. And these are these big poofy type dresses, you know what I mean? With the tulle and all of this, it's just poofy. So one day, as I was putting the dresses back, and my father always taught me to pass a woman with my back towards her. If it was a narrow place, you point your front away from her and you pass her. And that's how I've always passed women ever till this day. That's how I pass women. And I was carrying like three dresses on each hand, and I was passing her. And I guess one of the dresses, brushed up against her, and she turned around and she was like, I'm not going to take this any longer. You need to stop doing this. And she was accusing me of touching her. And she scolded me really, really badly. Okay. I clocked out because I felt like I was scared, confused. I was intimidated because I didn't know what to do. Like, but I was like, and I just froze. So I clocked out, and the person who got me the job, she's a close friend of the family. She gets me the job, and she's like, Dion, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? My middle name is Dion, so Dion, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. And she was like, you're not you what happened? Something happened. Something happened. What's wrong? I said, I just want to go home. I don't feel good. I don't. She's like, no, no, no. I know you. What's wrong? And I was like, nothing, nothing. She eventually got it out of me, and she was going to whoop her ass. Like, she really was going to whoop her ass. But that was my initial experience with a white woman. She was the first one I've ever worked with, the first one I've ever had that type of, interaction with. The second time I had an interaction with a woman like that, she was white too. And the third time, she was white. And the fourth time, she was white. So I built up a real big tolerance against white women. Like right now, even talking to white women in my comment section, I'm extremely nervous. So when I met Jen Sue, a white woman, in Daisy Dukes, looking all fine and shit, I got scared. That's why I judged her. I got terrified. I got afraid. I remember when we was leaving the house that they had in Aaron, right, we was getting ready to get on our plane. I forget her name. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot her name. It was one of the young girls there, and we had a really good conversation. Her and her fiance. I think that was her fiance. I'm not sure if it's fiance or wife. I'm not fully sure. But, bear with me. I'm trying to remember all this stuff because I met a lot of people that night, and I gave the guy a hug. And I'm not big with hugging women, and she was like, can I get one? And she's this tiny little thing, you know what I'm saying? She brown hair, you know what I'm saying? Rosy red cheeks, and just, cute and just dainty and small and all of that stuff. And when she asked for the hug, it was the most awkwardest hug I've ever given somebody in my life. And I give good hugs. I give amazing hugs. But I was so uncomfortable giving this girl a hug. It was like I didn't know where to put my hands. I was frantic. I was frantic. I left and I'm walking around. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't leave that impression. Oh my God, that was terrible. Blah, blah. Oh, just, and I was feeling some type of way. And I told my wife, I said, Toya, the way I held, the way I hugged her was so awkward. I never, and I said, I can't leave like this. I'll probably will never see that woman again. I cannot leave like this. This thing dies today. This fear of white women die today. It dies today. So I went back in there and I said, listen, I got to give you a real hug. I looked her husband and straight in the eye and said, is it okay? Right? He was like, go right ahead. And I gave her a real hug and I said, sorry for the awkwardness. I'm not used to this. And I gave her a real hug. I let my guard down and gave her, wow. I gave her a real hug. And it felt freeing, right? Because up until that point, I was terrified of white women. Terrified. To such a point that I avoid them like a plague. I avoid them. I don't look them in the eye. Well, up until now, I'm starting to break free of that, but I don't look them in the eye. I don't tend to conversate with them much. Um, I avoid them because it seems like I remember one another um, incident I had with a white woman, and she was Muslim, and same issue, right? I'm doing my job, and I was a receiver at the time, so I'm doing my job. We're setting up the brand new store, and David's Bridal setting up the brand new store, and I remember her giving me this freaking shitty ass ultimatum. She's saying to me, "You're not allowed to touch me." Wait, what? I'm confused. What are you talking about? What I've never. First of all, I've never touched you. Never had the intention of touching you. But you're saying I'm not allowed to touch you. I'm like, well, why are you telling me this? And she was like, because I just want to let you know I'm Muslim and you're not allowed to touch me. I can touch you, but you can't touch me. I'm like, what? I said, let me get this straight. You're Muslim and you feel that in an establishment like this, you're supposed to tell me that I'm not allowed to touch you. Why are you telling me this? And she was like, I just want to get the ground rules down because I got this job not expecting I was going to have to work with a man. Those were her exact words. So you see, my prejudice against white skin has more to do with women acting like fucking fools around me than white people in general. You see, I have no problem with my white men. I've never had. I've worked. I worked with white women most of my life. They're excellent workers. They do their job. They're chill. They're cool. I've never had a real problem with a white man, other than the one that called me a nigga. But I've been called a nigga before. That's not a big deal. Um, but the very first time I got called a nigga, I was like 6 years old, and it was an old white dude. But that really never phased me. You know what I'm saying? That never I didn't really bother me. But having my life be in jeopardy because of some females' emotional problems, that's scary to me. It's very scary. So when I say to you, I was prejudiced, it wasn't against whiskey. It was against gin because Jen is a female and she has the power to crush me by just saying, he touched me, and all those AR-15s in there. That's why I have an issue. It got nothing to do with the white skin. It's got everything to do with how I've been treated by the females of the white skin race. Okay. And I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you understand where that's coming from. Okay. Because I was trying to explain it to you in the chat. In the comment section, but it's too much information to type down here so you can get my point of view. I'm not racist. I'm fearful. And I've been fearful since I was 16. And I've been trying to deal with that for a long time. And this is the first time I'm ever coming clean with, well, I think I did come clean at one point, but I can't remember if it was a video or if it was talking to somebody. I don't remember. It was, I've had this conversation before. I know I have, because the same emotions came up when I was talking about the young lady that I gave a hug back in Florida. So this conversation had to come up before, because I've had that emotion before. But I'm not sure if I ever did it on the YouTube channel. But this is what I'm saying to you guys, or to you, George. I have experiences that cause me to act a certain way. We all do. Okay, we all do. And I'm not entirely sure why you want me to concede to being racist. I don't know why that's something you want me to do, but I can't do that because I'm not damn racist. I'm not racist. Prejudice is hell. I will give you that. You're damn right. I'm prejudiced. I will prejudge the hell out of you in a moment. But I think that's a defense mechanism more than anything. I think that's a defense mechanism. So now that you know where I get my shit from, why I got my shit, and you can understand what I'm fighting, maybe you can help me on that end. Instead of trying to call me racist and trying to make me take on a word that I don't want to take on, because I don't want to take on that word, because I am not racist. I have nothing against whites, blacks, Korean. I have nothing against them. I just don't like how they do things. I judge people based off of their merit and their character. Okay? That's how I judge you. That don't mean I won't prejudge your ass. I'll prejudge you quick, because you have to be willing. You have prejudgment, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. Um, and yeah, maybe I'm trying to clarify it. And maybe you might even take this as a cop out, but prejudgment is necessary in the streets. It's necessary. My wife was almost mugged the other day. And the only reason why she got in that car and got the hell away is because she prejudged the fuck out of them. She prejudged them. And I'm glad she did. Because when I saw the camera, the way they was walking up to it, oh yeah, they was gonna rob her. And it could have been violent. So she did the right thing by prejudging them. Call it the sixth sense, call it spider sense, whatever the hell you want to call it. You need that to survive. You do. You hear a certain thing from a certain type of person that you've heard before, from a certain type of person who did you wrong. You don't ignore that sign. You don't ignore that. That doesn't mean you're right all the time. And that's where the benefit of the doubt comes in. Okay. You're not right all the time. I did a video when I was in South Carolina, and the video was pretty much asking whites, what do you see when you look at me? Because I was walking up to a guy. It was at the crack of dawn. The sun wasn't even up yet. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that, or earlier than that. As a matter of fact, it was earlier than that, because we was in South Carolina, so it had to be earlier than that. And I was walking up to him because I wanted to ask him a question. I just wanted to ask him a question. But I got tense to ask him a question because I didn't want to come off like I was a thug or whatever. And he responded to me after I asked him. He said, you're not bothering me. Just, it seems like you're just a regular guy asking a question. Now, if you was walking up to me a certain way, saying if if your body posture was different, then maybe I would have been a little more alarmed. But I wasn't alarmed, you know. And that's when I asked the people, I asked my subscribers, what do they think when they see me looking like this? And a lot of them responded like, yo, you just look at regular dude. Like, it depends on how you approach me. It depends on a lot of stuff. It's not just that. And a lot of people say, I don't like when anybody approach me, no matter what. I don't like it. I'm just don't like it. I don't like strangers, and I don't, and they, you know what? It was a great conversation. And another reason why I did this is because of that video. This is going to be a very good conversation for me and for a lot of you. There's a lot of white women that's going to hear this and say, oh my God, really? And I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, that's what happened to me. So if you see me struggling to give you a hug, that's why. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling because I was terrified when I was 16. I was traumatized when I was 16. To have somebody put their finger in my face, and boy, when my mother found out, now my mother found out about a year ago. Okay. She found out about a year ago. And the person who got me the job, the friend that I was talking about, she was actually in the car with my mom when she found out. And that's the person I was having a conversation with. I had it with my mom. I had it with my mom. So she was basically saying, you know, she was saying to my mother, that was a long time ago. And my mom was like, I don't care. I don't care how long ago it was. Now I understand why he acts that way. You know what I'm saying? And she'll tell you. She'll tell you. I got real. I changed after that day. I changed. I was too afraid to be around women in general. I was more warm to black women because I was kind of used to them and I understood them, right? But every time I was around a white woman, I choke. To this day, I choke around white women. To this day, even though I've tried to work through it, you know what I'm saying, the best way I can by myself, you know, and I know somebody gonna be like, you need counseling. I'm like, you're probably right. I probably do, but I ain't got no money for no damn counseling. So it is what it is. But yeah, I still have to work through that. I still have to work through that because white women didn't do me wrong. A couple of women who happen to be white did me wrong. That doesn't make me racist. Don't. Okay, it don't. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. It's 21 minutes. Holy crap. I could talk when I want to talk. But that's 21 minutes, you know. I hope you understand now, George, and you get where I'm coming from. And for those of you who want to chime into this conversation, please do so. This is a very, very important conversation for anybody to have because we're not just having this conversation with white and black. We're having this conversation between men and women. You have no idea, ladies, you have no idea how much power you have. You don't know. You can crush a man's spirit by just doing what that lady did to me. I don't know what she was going on through her life. I don't know if she was touched before. I don't know what she was dealing with. I don't know. But that energy, whether she dealt with it or not, that energy scarred me for life. And I didn't do anything wrong. All I was doing was my job. And here's how I can prove it. Well, I can't prove it because I don't have the footage. They had tapes. They had tapes. They got cameras in that place. They reviewed the tapes and it was confirmed. I was walking past her with my back pointing to her and my pelvis and everything pointing towards the dresses. That's how my name got cleared and that's how I was able to keep my job. She never apologized to me. Ever. Never apologized to me. It is what it is. This is Gary Lamb signing off. You guys have a good one.